Wrigley Field, Cubs hoping their bats will heat up. They only got a 3-run homer yesterday from ARAMIS, RAMIREZ in a 13-3 loss. Let's hear from Mike Quade on the bullpen today and whether or not Carlos Marmol will be available.
Well, Marmol will give another day unless somebody comes to me and says, well, wait a minute, he's all set, so I plan to do that. Have to look, but probably set up with Woody and close with Marsh. That would be my thought right now. And we'll go from there. But everybody else is we're in good shape from top to bottom as far as that goes, and that's a good thing.
Wellesley could use a victory, huh?
Yeah, he could. Yeah, a good outing, huh? Let's start with that. A victory, absolutely. But I really thought since he's come back, he threw a good ball game against the Cardinals, and his stuff and everything that day I thought led us to believe that was the guy that we're looking for and the guy that we saw, and he hasn't been consistent since then, and so yeah, need to see him pitch well and get himself going again for sure.
Marmol, do you try and talk to him, leave him
Oh
alone?
no, he's like going to school, man. He's going back to looking at things that he did when he was very successful. The program that Riggs and Lester have him on, I mean, he spent a lot of time. Even before yesterday, his last few days, looking at film and doing the physical stuff and everything else. So I don't know that leaving alone would be any good. And I think that ultimately a player's got to get himself back along with help from his coaching staff. But he needs to understand what he's looking at, and he needs to understand when he's looking at video. What his keys are. It's one thing if I understand or they understand, but he needs to be able to fix himself, and sometimes pitch to pitch. That's the other thing. It's one thing to have an overall approach to getting yourself better, but he's got to make adjustments on the mound, pitch to pitch, and there's nobody to help him do that but him. So if he throws a slider that he pulls and leaves off the plate, he's got to know when he gets the ball back, here's how I make that adjustment. When he leaves a fastball into a right-hand hitter, whatever the case might be. So I think there's a lot of that going on right now, and that's good, and that's good for him.
That's Mike Quade on the closer, Carlos Marmol, or at least the former closer for now, and hopefully he'll be back in that spot here very soon. And the key today for Randy Wells, keep that ball down as he looks for just his second win of the season and first since April 4th when he beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. Meantime, the Cubs need to get some offense going. They haven't had a lot going in this series against a tough Florida starting rotation. They'll face Chris Volstad today. And let's hear from Darwin Barney, who had a chance to sit down and chat with Sarah Kustok.
Thank you, Len. All right, Darwin, take us back to spring training. You're battling for a position here on the team, and now heading in the second half, emerging as one of the top Rookie of the Year candidates. What was the adjustment like going from spring training and being now an everyday second base player?
The adjustment started in the offseason. I think, I talked a lot with Tim Buss, our strength coordinator, and Rudy Jaramillo, what my plan was going into the offseason. And, I needed to get a little stronger. I needed to get more confident. And, so that's what I did. I went out to Arizona early and worked with Bussy a lot and stayed in contact with Rudy and tried to get a little shorter and work on my swing a little bit. And, you just kind of take that confidence into spring training and then into the season. So, it all starts then. You don't really make adjustments getting into the season from spring. You just you got to hone yourself from day one.
You talk to people, you talk to coaches about you, and one thing that always comes up is how fundamentally sound you are. You're smart, you're in the right place at the right time. Where does that come from?
I got to be that kind of player. I'm not going to hit even 5 to 10 home runs a year. I got to be a situational hitter. I got to think of the plays before they happen and try and make the right play. And, being a shortstop my whole life, I think that kind of helped. Being the captain on the field, helps you to learn where you need to be and where everyone else needs to be, and that'll help you kind of feel the flow of the game.
What has been the chemistry between you and Starlin Castro? The mill here is shored up between the both of you. How have you guys been able to mesh so well together, and it seems like really be so in touch with one another so quickly?
Well, it's funny because, at one point we were kind of competing. A couple of spring trainings ago, him and I were both shortstops in minor leagues, and we were both coming up, and, we were taking ground balls together. And one day I remember, he kind of fumbled a couple and looked at me with eyes like, I don't know what to do. And, I was like, look, Starlin, I don't care what happens in the future. I don't care if I'm playing at second base or shortstop. I want to win a championship, and we're going to need you. And from that day on, it didn't matter what position we were playing. We wanted the same thing, and that was to win. So, the chemistry is getting better and better every day. The more we play with each other, the more we're going to kind of, know what our role is. And, we communicate a lot, and I think that helps.
You talk about the chemistry and wanting to, when you were recently dropped to 8th in the lineup because Mike Quaddy said he wanted more production at the bottom of the order. What's the mindset you take into that and just the prep of hitting in a different place in the order?
It doesn't bother me. I'm still blessed to be in the lineup every day, and that's number one. We're all lucky to be here. So, hitting 2 and hitting 8th is very similar. I was actually pretty excited to go to the 8-hole because, Kazzy's such a great 2-hitter, and, it was obvious that's where he needed to be right now. In the future, we don't know. He could be a good 3-hitter, but, hitting 8th, maybe more opportunities for me to hit with runners on base, more opportunities, for me to late in the game, when you have a pinch hitter behind you, you're a 2-hitter again. So, the situation really dictates what my role is at the plate, and that's my approach. So, hitting 8th, it didn't faze me. I didn't really worry about it. I'm just happy to be out there.
All right, Darwin, thanks so much for your time. Good luck today.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, Len, back to you guys.
Sarah and Darwin, thanks very much. As fans try to keep cool on this blistering hot Sunday afternoon, the Cubs hosting the Florida Marlins in the final game of a 4-game series. We'll focus in on today's starting pitchers when we come back. Very humid, the wind not doing a whole lot, but when it is moving, it's blowing the flags straight out to center field. A lot of offense from the Marlins yesterday. Hopefully the Cubs offense can get going today, and it won't be easy for the Cubs in this next series. Roy Halladay will pitch tomorrow night for the Phillies, Cliff Lee on Tuesday night, and then a guy named Vance Worley, a right-hander, is going to go on Wednesday filling in because Roy Oswalt and Joe Blanton are on the DL, and Worley 5-1 on the season. So be nice to win this one, earn a split, and go into that Phillies series feeling good about the way the weekend went. Let's check in on the starting pitchers for this afternoon. For the Cubs, it'll be Randy Wells, still seeking his first win since his season debut on April 4th. A nearly 2-month DL stint and an 8-game winless streak since. Chris Volstad, without a win here at Wrigley Field, but has pitched decently. He's been okay this year, except for 2 bad starts against the Philadelphia Phillies. So we're set for Cubs baseball from the friendly confines. The Marlins and Cubs on Comcast Sportsnet. We are live at Wrigley Field on a scorching hot Sunday afternoon for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans grabbing a pennant on their way into the ballpark. And it's a series finale. Cubs try to earn a 2-2 split as they host Jack McKeon's Florida Marlins. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs lost 13-3 yesterday. Their only offense came off the bat of ARAMIS Ramirez, who leads the majors in home runs since June 25th.
He has been on some kind of a roll, and over his last 21 ball games, he's struck 11 home runs. He's driven in 21 runs. He's also scored 21 runs. We talk about it all the time. You try to get power from those corner positions, especially in the infield, and the Cubs are certainly getting it from Ramirez lately.
And he did have an all-star first half, even though he did not participate. Decided to spend the 3 days at home resting with his family and getting the second half off to a good start. Cubs will try to slow down the Marlins offense. They scored a season-best 13 runs yesterday. Randy Wells for the Cubs, Chris Volstad for the Marlins. Now let's go to Andrew Bellison, the Cubs PA announcer.
Serving our great country. Specialist Jared Ray and Private First Class Justin Gould are both injured from rocket attacks at Camp Taji in Iraq. while serving during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Private First Class Samantha Rulon was injured by enemy artillery fire on forward operating base Prosperity in Iraq while serving during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Specialist Roby Potter was injured from an IED attack that ejected him from his vehicle while serving during Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. And Staff Sergeant Sean Peters was injured at Joint Security Station Loyalty in eastern Baghdad from a massive rocket attack while serving during his third deployment in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Chicago Cubs would like to take this moment to thank Specialist Ray, Private First Class Gould, Private First Class Rulon, Specialist Potter, and Staff Sergeant Peters, along with all our servicemen and women, both in this country and around the world, for their selfless dedication, courage, and sacrifice in protecting our freedom and defending this great country. At this time, we ask you to please remain standing. Kindly remove your caps and join Kayla Brown as she honors America with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Kayla Brown with God Bless America and our national anthem. Cubs have dropped 2 of the first 3 of this series. They'll try to get the series split against the Fish. Next.
brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. 75 years of being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Subway. Every day at Subway, choose from many delicious regular footlong subs for just $5. Subway. Eat fresh. Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today or go to shophonda.com and find great values on a new Honda. AT&T U-verse. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates.
That's a pretty good place to be. The beach. Anywhere you go today, it's hot. And it's always a great day to be here at Wrigley Field. And for the rest of this homestand, including today, the Cubs will help the fans beat the heat by providing complimentary water at all gates to stay hydrated, cooling stations at each of the gates, automatic mister devices in the bleacher concourse and the patio area, and members of the Cubs staff will also walk through the ballpark with portable misters as well, as you see them behind the bleachers. So if you're coming out the rest of this homestand, the Cubs are thinking about your health and safety. They'll have extra medical personnel on hand as well. Stay hydrated. Cubs take the field behind right-hander Randy Wells. Let's check in on the Florida Marlins Southwest starting lineup. He will face, written out by Jack McKeon. Season high 13 runs yesterday for this offense. Bonifacio gets to start at second for Omar Infante, who gets a day off. Greg Dobbs is at third. Logan Morrison and left-handed Ramirez with a big series, 3 doubles yesterday. Gabby Sanchez, the all-star, at first. Mike Stanton went deep twice on Saturday. Cameron's back in center. Same for Buck behind the plate, and the pitcher's Chris Volstad.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively, appropriately enough. Brought to you by Degree. DeWitt in left field today. Bird in center. Reed Johnson over in right field. Be the same infield as yesterday. Ramirez, Castro, Barney, and Pena third to first. Giovanni Soto once again doing the catching today for our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, right-hander Randy Wells. Been a rough go lately for Randy since coming off the disabled list. Stuff just has not been sharp. He claims he's healthy. The forearm is no longer an issue. Needs to really concentrate on executing his pitches. And as we've talked about with Randy in the past, needs to incorporate all of his pitches early in the game, including that straight changeup.
Check in on the umpires today. Always a concern about the home plate umpire on a hot day like this. Phil Cuzzy in his 13th year from New Jersey will get that assignment. James Hoy at first, Lance Barrett at second, the crew chief Tom Hallion at third. So all 4 guys in this 4-game series have been able to work the plate. So they'll all get yelled at least once by somebody.
At least once.
Here's Bonifacio, the longest active hitting streak in baseball at 15 games. Playing second base for the first time in this series. We saw him at third in the first 3 contests.
Well, we talked about his batting helmet yesterday too, covered with pine tar and rosin, although I think that might be dry ice today on top of his helmet. He's trying to stay cool any way you can today.
Sinker is low and outside. 2 balls and a strike, 94 degrees with a light wind out of the west at 4 miles an hour. The fastball is outside, 3-1. Yesterday, Carlos Zambrano walked Bonifacio to start the game and would allow 3 first-inning runs. And a leadoff walk to start this one. Now Greg Dobbs, the Marlins hero Thursday night, the big 9th inning comeback against Carlos Marmol and company. He had the 2-run double on which a third run, the game-winning run, would score. That was in the pinch. He's in a starting role today. Bonifacio's been very busy on the bases lately. He's 12 out of 13 over his last 14 games after going 5 for 8 in his first 70. And this really all coincides with Jack McKeon taking over as the Marlins manager. He envisions Bonifacio as being the new Luis Castillo. Switch hitting leadoff man who bunts, takes walks, and steals bases.
Well, the Marlins have shown amazing patience in this series. If the Cubs pitchers are not going to throw them strikes, they're willing to take the walks, set it up for the next guy in the batting order. And Greg Dobbs, a guy who is a lot more familiar coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, really has a different mindset in games that he starts. As a pinch hitter, he always hacks at that first pitch.
Fly to deep left. Blake DeWitt going back on it, and it's going to get into the front row and then to the basket for an opposite field 2-run homer. And just like that, the Marlins have a 2-0 lead. More first inning trouble for Randy Wells. Well, you hit it on the head, partner. With that walk to Bonifacio, the Marlins have now taken 15 walks in this series. The Cubs batters with just 3. And obviously the home run's the big blow here in the first inning, but that leadoff walk always looms large.
Absolutely. And not only the walks, we've talked about it many times in the past. You put yourself in those good hitters counts where you get the aggressive swings, where guys can really zone in on one pitch and take an aggressive hack at it, try to barrel it up. When you get ahead of the hitters, it puts them on the defensive. They take weaker cuts. They put the ball in play much weaker. Got to get ahead in the count.
Morrison grounds out to Barney. And that's the first out. The Cubs pitching staff has dealt the most walks in the major leagues. The Cubs offense has the fewest walks. And that's never a good combination. You'd like it to be the opposite. Now Hanley Ramirez, he had 3 doubles yesterday, 2 RBIs, 3 runs. Swing and a miss on a slider at 83. Florida, after this game, will head to New York for a makeup date with the Mets tomorrow, and then they'll head home for the rest of the week. Cubs will host the Phillies. Nothing in 2.
The Phillies themselves are in New York today playing against the Mets. Day game there, so they'll probably roll in early this evening here to Chicago and hopefully partake of everything the city has to offer tonight.
They are leading 4-0 in the 5th. Kyle Kendrick pitching for the Phillies today. In the dirt, 2-2 the count.
I think it speaks to the conditions here at Wrigley Field today. We know Marlon Byrd normally likes to play a very shallow center field, but he's nearly at a no doubles distance out there in center field today. If any of you fans happen to see some batting practice here today, you would have been amazed at the distance of some of the home run balls that were hit by both teams. Very little wind, as Len said, blowing out today, but just the conditions super conducive to the long ball.
Similar to yesterday, wind blowing just a little bit more than it was yesterday, and obviously it's a lot hotter. But the Marlins, with 4 home runs the last 2 days, they've all been to the opposite field. And Hanley Ramirez is going to go yard.
Oh.
Sammy Sosa territory. That one's the back of the bleachers on the concourse for their second home run this inning. Number 9 on the year for Ramirez.
We usually don't speak of a 3-2 count as a good hitter's count, but when you put an opposing hitter in a situation where he knows you have to throw a strike, once again, that's where you get the aggressive swings, and this is a super aggressive swing by Hanley Ramirez. That's where the big boys hit him out there.
Gabby Sanchez deep to center. Bird will make the catch right up against the vines for out number 2. Well, Gabby Sanchez just missed.
On a tee, up and in at 89 miles an hour to a good first ball fastball hitter. Fortunately did not get all of it, down near the trademark just a little bit, enough to keep it in the yard for Marlon Byrd.
Mike Stanton hit a couple yesterday, added a single in the Florida 13-3 victory. 20 on the year and a 2-0 count.
Boy, and this guy is a special power hitter, Len. I mean, 42 home runs before his 22nd birthday. That places him 4th on the active player list, 17th all time. This guy is just going to continue to get better and better. If he can stay healthy, he will be recognized as one of the great power hitters of his era.
Well, that is a telling stat. Cubs have been outscored in the first inning by almost 30 runs. The 3-1. Broken bat bouncer as the barrel of the bat went flying about 15 rows up behind the Cubs dugout as they get Stanton for the 3rd out. The Marlins get 3 on a couple of home runs. The Cubs are coming up against Chris Volstad. A few changes today as Reed Johnson will get the nod in the leadoff spot in right. Castro at short, Ramirez at 3rd, Carlos Pena manning 1st. You got Marlon Byrd in center, 307 on the year. Blake DeWitt making his 15th start in left. Soto catches, Barney plays 2nd, and Randy Wells does the pitching.
And let's take a look at the Marlins defensively today. Logan Morrison in left, Mike Cameron in center, Mike Stanton over in right field. It'll be Greg Dobbs, Hanley Ramirez, Emilio Bonifacio, and Gabby Sanchez across the infield, 3rd to 1st. John Buck back behind the plate today for a tall drink of water, Chris Volstad.
6'8".
He's had quality starts in 4 of his last 5, but he just can't seem to get over the hump against the Philadelphia Phillies, who have really banged him around this year in a couple of starts.
In 2 starts against the Phillies, he's given up 15 runs in under 10 innings. So you take those starts out of the picture, and the numbers don't look quite as bad for Volstad. He comes in with a 5.40 earned run average and a 5-8 record. Fair ball for Reed Johnson past Greg Dobbs and into the left field corner. That's a leadoff double. Well, you might want to get settled in. It could be one of those days.
We hope it's one of those days. The Cubs need to start banging that ball around. Figures to be very much an offensive day here at Wrigley Field. Already in a 3-0 hole. And a good start. Reed Johnson finding that third base line down into the corner for a leadoff double.
Castro 2 for 12 with a run in the series. 119 hits, second best in the National League, 4th in the majors. Finished 10th in the National League last year's rookie season when he hit 300. Cub rookie to hit 300 and finish in the top 10 since Bill Madlock in 1974.
As far as the stuff for Chris Volstad today, you'll see a fastball, a slider, a straight changeup, an occasional curveball. The key to his success, or any success he ever has out there on the mound, is when he's aggressive, challenging the strike zone early in the count, trying to get ahead of opposing hitters. That's why he has so much trouble against the Phillies. There are a number of players in that lineup that hit him really well, and he tries to nibble a little too much. And just like Randy Wells in that first inning, you put yourself in good hitters' counts, and that's when bad things happen.
He'll give up his fair share of hits. Marlins ace Josh Johnson is on the DL with right shoulder inflammation. No real timetable for his return. They've been using 4 starters here for a bit. Clay Hensley, who had been working out of the bullpen, is on the DL with a sprained right shoulder, but he's going to come off tomorrow and start that makeup game at New York. Blocked by John Buck. 2-2. Javier Vasquez yesterday, as good as we've seen him, 7 innings, gave up the 3-run homer to Ramirez, but that was it. He struck out 10 Cubs. That's flared into right. It'll get down. The Cubs get on the board as Reed Johnson scores. Castro has a double. 3-1.
Good battling at bat that time by young Starlin. Castro eventually gets a middle of the plate fastball with a defensive swing, shoots it down into that right field corner for back-to-back doubles to start the game for the Cubs offense.
25 doubles for Castro. Puts him tied for second in the National League behind Carlos Beltran, who has 28. Aramis Ramirez goes deep to left. Logan Morrison on the warning track, can't make the catch right off the end of his glove. Castro had to hold up. He's going to go through the stop sign of Ivan De Jesus and score easily. 3-2. Double city here for the Cubs. That's 3 of them to start the inning.
Ramirez with his customary first pitch hack hits it off the end of the bat just a little bit. That's the only thing that kept this ball in the ballpark. As it is, he gets it over the outstretched glove of Logan Morrison off the vines for the third straight double here to start the ball game. Boy, unfortunately for Starlin Castro, he was able to score without a play at home plate because Ivan DeJesus had thrown up the stop sign very early. Castro just completely disregarded it, ran right past his third base coach, but fortunately was able to score.
Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach, with a very early visit. Still nobody out. 3 consecutive doubles to start the inning. Here's Carlos Pena. Hitting a walk, that's it in the series. 1 for 11 for Pena. He has scored twice.
And Pena's been seeing a steady diet of off-speed pitches. Rarely does he get a fastball anywhere he can get a bat on it. The Marlins have gone to the straight changeup and the slower breaking pitches with good effect against Carlos in this series. Slow curveball there from Volstad.
Cubs beat Volstad at Sun Life Stadium down in Miami on May 19th. He gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. Follow all of today's stats and info in real time with Cubs in-game live only at CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Honda. In the dirt, a ball and 2 strikes. Talked about the Phillies knocking around Chris Volstad, with the Cubs doing that right off the bat here today. It does make you wonder if he'll start to nibble a little bit, and if the Cubs can be a little patient, they should be able to work themselves into some hitters' counts.
There's no question an offense can scare a pitcher out of the strike zone. You make some good pitches, or pitches that you feel are good pitches, and the opposing team puts good wood on them. Starts the game with 3 straight doubles. All of a sudden you think, man, I better be a little more careful. Scoot it out to the corners a little bit more. And as we talked about, that's when you get in trouble. Fall behind in counts. Get those aggressive swings from the hitters. At worst, you'd like to see Carlos Pena with some kind of a productive out. Obviously, we'd like to see a base hit. Drive in Ramirez from second base, but at least move him up to third base. Set the table for Marlon Byrd.
He's run at full 3 and 2. Byrd on deck. Marlon homered off Volstad back on May 19th.
Galaxy, the official remodeler of the Chicago Cubs, brings you pitch tracks. Slow breaking ball that time once again from Volstad. Nibbling, nibbling, nibbling. Has himself in a full count here against Carlos Pena.
Got him on a changeup for strike 3.
Center fielder number 24, Marlon.
And I've talked about this particular theory in the past. When you face a good control pitcher, especially the first game of a series, and you see how he goes after the hitters in your own lineup, chances are that's coming straight from the advance report. The pitchers are going to pitch to the weaknesses of the opposing team, and we saw a great example of that from Javier Vasquez yesterday. The guys who have trouble with high fastballs got a steady diet of high fastballs. The guys who chase breakers out of the zone got a steady diet of sliders off the outside corner. And as we mentioned with Carlos Pena, a lot of straight changeups, including 4 in a row, one at bat from Javier Vasquez yesterday. And Chris Volstad follows the same formula today.
Fly ball to right. Well hit. Mike Stanton already back at the wall. He's got it. That one pushed Stanton all the way back to the bricks. But he made the grab for the second out.
Ramirez is thinking he wanted to get himself into a position if the ball got over Stanton's head but stayed in the ballpark, he'd be able to score. But you see that right fielder square up to the ball. You try to get back and tag as quickly as possible. He may have been able to advance to third had he gotten back to the bag quickly enough. We'll never know.
Blake DeWitt gets a start in left. First career action in the outfield this season. A lot of time in left when Alfonso Soriano was on the disabled list. Low for ball one on a fastball. Changeup just missed the outside corner. Looked like Volstad wanted it. Didn't get the call from Phil Cuzzy.
You know, Mike Quaddy was talking about Blake DeWitt in left and Reed Johnson in right today. A numbers thing, a numbers matchup. Not so much the numbers for Blake DeWitt against Volstad. He is 2 for 6 with a couple of walks. But Alfonso Soriano only 1 for 11 lifetime against the Marlins right-hander.
Base hit right field. Ramirez coming around third. Stanton up with it. The throw to the plate cut off by Sanchez. They're going to get DeWitt. The run, however, has already scored. Ramirez tags DeWitt. Aramis is in. And it's a 3-3 tie at the end of one.
Freeze cam from the ball game yesterday. Gabby Sanchez on a broken bat grounder to Blake DeWitt to third. He momentarily mishandled the ball but threw across to Carlos Pena, who had his foot on the bag. A really good stretch into foul territory. Was able to drag that right foot across the bag and keep it on long enough for what should have been an out. Unfortunately, Sanchez called safe at first base. Freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
This off just a little bit, seeing those snowflakes on the graphic. 3-3. 2 homers by the Marlins, 3 doubles for the Cubs in the first inning.
And new life for Randy Wells after that horrible first inning. An opportunity to settle back in. His team got him right back into this ball game. Start fresh right here.
Mike Cameron takes a fastball for a strike. Started the first 2 games, had yesterday off. Andy's 1-1 pitch off the end of the bat. Wells off the mound. He'll flip to Pena for the out. Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Phillies this Tuesday night at Wrigley Field. Game time 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will get a Cubs hat, compliments of Private Bank. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. John Buck back in the Marlins lineup. We get started on this full slate of Sunday action around the Bigs. St. Louis with a half-game lead over Milwaukee in the Central. Ramirez from his knees will still have time. Safe. Pena's foot came off the base. Aramis just kind of lost his footing, and from his knees still had some time, but the throw was a little wide. And again, we'll see if Pena kept his toe on the base.
Carlos Pena is as good as any defensive first baseman in the game at shifting, and as we showed you on our Coors Light freeze cam from the ball game yesterday, tough to see from that angle. All in the glove, looked like the foot was on the bag, and then it came off after the fact.
They give Buck a generous hit as Volstad now in a bunting spot. Just to finish the Central story, Pirates 1 out, Brewers a half game back of St. Louis, Cincinnati 4 behind as the Reds are hosting the Cardinals. Phillies and Giants have a 3.5 game lead in their respective divisions. Texas, the hottest team in baseball, 3 up in the AL West. Cleveland leading Detroit by a game, the White Sox by 4, and Boston a half game up on the Yankees. Volstad bunted right through it, 1-2.
How about those Rangers? They went from 3 games over 500 to 13 over 500. 10 straight wins.
Longest winning streak this season in baseball. Florida playing real well. They're still in last because of that awful month of June. But they've won 11 of 15. The Rangers with the 3rd longest win streak in franchise history gave up a run last night in Seattle for the first time in 33 innings, and their last loss was 2 weeks ago to these Marlins. Volstad strikes out. Can't get the bunt down, and it'll bring up Bonifacio with 2 outs.
We had some good pitches to bunt in that sequence. Volstad just missed on all 3 attempts. Right over the top of the baseball. He has put down 5 sack bunts this season, but didn't really come close on any of the 3 attempts.
Outside for ball 1. And the Rangers beating the Mariners last night. It was Seattle's 8th consecutive loss, and a special night in Seattle, kind of ruined by the Mariners loss. The 10th anniversary of the 116 win 2001 campaign. Lou Piniella was on hand. Good shutdown second for Randy Wells. A single, no run, still 3-3. place to go for the best local sports news and highlights. Sportsnet Central every night at 6:30, 10, 10:30, and midnight only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Stay hydrated. Edward Mujica having more fun with our camera crew.
Wide awake today.
He's awake today. Caught him napping yesterday. And I guess it's somewhat of a routine. He would rest when he was with the San Diego Padres between the first and the third, but it would be in a room near the bullpen at Petco Park. Told the Miami Herald today, can't do that in Miami. There's no place to sleep.
Bet in your bed at home at night. I mean, at least wear sunglasses. We'd have never known if he had a pair of shades on yesterday.
Again, he had a good sense of humor about it as Giovanni SOTO leads off the second with a base hit, his first since a 4-hit Thursday night.
I still think they ought to give away Giovanni SOTO bobblehead dolls every game the rest of the year. That was on Thursday when, as you mentioned, he had 4 base hits.
Five hits already among the first 7 batters for the Cubs against VOLSTAD.
Well, and I thought that was a great interview Sarah Kostock had with Darwin Barney before the ball game today. His unselfishness, talking about how he and Starlin Castro were coming up through the minor league system basically in competition at that shortstop position. But Darwin said, hey, if we're going to win, we need you to be really good. If that means I have to move to another position, so be it.
SOTO will stop at second. 2 on for Randy Wells, who will try to do something VOLSTAD couldn't do, and that's lay down a bunt.
Bobby Neer has to be proud of that at bat by Darwin Barney. I talk all the time about that '84 Cubs team and what a bunch of unselfish situational hitters they had, and that time Darwin Barney had the hole on the right side of the field, didn't try to do too much, just guide a little ground ball over there. It sneaks through into right field for a base hit.
Wells with 1 sacrifice on the year. Takes it high, ball 1.
Always a dangerous situation for that runner at second base. In an obvious sacrifice bunt situation, you really have to work for a maximum lead and then really work hard to get back to the bag at second if Randy pulls the bat back or bunts through the ball.
Pulled it back again, 2-0. Early action with VOLSTAD struggling. Bert Badenhop is up under the watchful eye of Reed Cornelius, their bullpen coach. Here comes Jack McKeon. This might be a one-way conversation. Jack almost looking straight up at the 6'8" Chris VOLSTAD. Jack McKeon bobblehead day here on the mound.
Yeah. That helps you make your point a little better. Get your head going back and forth.
If I had to speculate, it would be something to the effect of, I don't care how much they're hitting you. It's the pitcher at the plate. He's trying to give us an out. If you can't throw strikes, I'll bring somebody in who can. That's probably close.
You're paraphrasing. I'm sure there
I
were
left
a few more
words out
in there, but yeah, I think that's the point.
Bunted foul. No manager, even if he's frustrated that a pitcher's getting tagged, will ever tell his pitcher he's upset that he's giving up hits. However, when you're not throwing strikes, that's a different story.
Oh, yeah. The other guys are trying to do their job too, and you're going to give up your share of hits. We showed you the graphic earlier. Volstad has always given up a lot of hits over the course of a ball game. Nice bunt.
Dobbs will pick it up and get the out. That's a sacrifice, 5-4.
Perfectly executed by Randy Wells. Good bat angle there. Deadens that ball on the left side of the field. No choice for the Marlins other than for the third baseman Dobbs to come in and make the play. That leaves third base unoccupied. Soto and Barney able to advance into scoring position for the top of the order.
So a couple of shots here to get the lead. Reed Johnson got it going in the first with a double and the first run. It the other day, Reed has always hit the Marlins .409 in his career.
We talked about the respective numbers for Blake DeWitt and Alfonso Soriano against Chris Volstad. Same thing could be said today for Reed Johnson. He is 3 for 8 with a couple of doubles against Volstad coming into play today. But even more importantly, Kosuke Fukudome only 1 for 14. You look for spots to give your regulars a day off. Those are the kind of numbers you look for to flip guys in and out of the lineup.
That'll get it done as Mike Cameron drifting. Deep right center makes the catch. Both guys tag. Soto scores. It's 4-3 as the Cubs have their first lead.
Breaking ball that stayed in the strike zone. Got the barrel on it. Hit it high in the air to center field. Good base running by both. Giovanni Soto immediately went back to tag up. Initially, Darwin Barney went halfway. When he saw Cameron start to break down to camp underneath the ball, he too tagged up and moved up to third base.
Ball 1 to Castro.
You see Darwin, once he realized Cameron was going to make the play on the warning track in center field, hustled back to the bag and moves up 90 feet. Which could be significant. Volstad's thrown a couple of wild pitches this year, and John Buck behind the plate has 7 passed balls. So anytime you get a chance to advance to third base, regardless of the game situation, you want to do that.
Inside, 3-0. That's a strike. And 7's a lot, but how about Josh Tolley of the Mets, Bob? 13 passed balls in 62 games. Yikes.
Well, in defense of catchers, I will always try to defend a catcher. I wonder how many of those were missed signs by a pitcher, and Tolley was expecting something else.
Will be caught by Mike Cameron. For the third and final out, but the Cubs get a run and get the lead. 4-3 at the end of 2.
Just $1.89, but you don't have to remember it to love it. Prices and participation may vary. For a limited time, a la carte only.
Cubs with a daily double in the first inning. They had 3 of them to tie it up, and then they got the lead in the second. Dobbs, Morrison, and Ramirez for the Marlins. Dobbs with an opposite field home run in the first. He's always had good success against Cubs pitching. Back to his days with the Phillies. Almost 400 against the Cubs in his career. 1 ball, 1 strike. One changeup swung over the top of it. 1-2. Change was in the dirt out in front of home plate. Wells wanted to throw another changeup, and he got him this time. It's his second strikeout.
It's a big pitch for Randy Wells, especially against the left-handed hitters. Slider that he throws is a little bit too flat to try to get inside on the hands of left-handed hitters, but that straight changeup, very good complement to his sinking fastball.
Temporary relief from the heat. Ball 1 to Morrison. Morrison is 22nd round pick. Worked out pretty well. He grounds out to Barney for the second time. 2 down. Hey fans, check out the new Cubs Kids Club presented by ComEd, the official kids club of the Chicago Cubs. Help your favorite young Cubs fan earn his or her pinstripes as a member of the Cubs Kids Club, and they'll receive kid-specific perks, experiences, and merchandise throughout the 2011 season. Visit Cubs.com to sign up today. Ramirez gets under one. Marlon Byrd drifting. Now under it, battling the sun a little bit. And the first 1, 2, 3 inning for either starting pitcher.
Tomorrow at 7:05 right here at Wrigley Field. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs squeeze bottle, compliments of Gatorade. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
They have a little regatta going on out on Lake Michigan today. Cubs leading 4-3 as they bat in the bottom of the third. Randy Wells has settled down after a rocky first. Chris VOLSTAD has not. Faces ARAMIS Ramirez. His home run yesterday gave him 229 as a Cub. He's 2 away from Gabby Hartnett for 6th on the Cubs all-time home run list. Stanton will make the catch. And his double. Now 2 away. He's got 247 as a Cub, 2 away from Bill Nicholson. 15th place tie on the Cubs list. The very well-rounded Carlos Pena loves to read. One of his favorite books, The Alchemist, which he read about 7-8 years ago. I asked him what he's reading right now. He said The Alchemist, reading it again.
You sure it just didn't take him 7 or 8 years to read it?
No.
Okay.
No, not Carlos. Maybe some guys. Cameron in center. 2 outs. Carlos once quoted saying, "I feel like if I'm not reading, I'm wasting my time." And by the way, he's got an actual book. He hasn't gone the Kindle or the iPad route just yet. Actually has a book with real pages.
Well, he's in the right profession because, as we well know, Len, a lot of time spent on planes and buses and hotel rooms, and it's a lot better hobby to have than some others that guys select.
He said, "You have no idea how much I enjoy sitting down with a book and a mocha in one of those comfortable chairs. So nice and peaceful. When I'm in a bookstore, I think every book is talking to you. All those great minds, points of view." Two strikes to Marlon Byrd. 3 of his 4 homers this year against the Marlins. He just missed another one as he flied to the warning track in the opening inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The first perfect inning for VOLSTAD today. Cubs 4, Marlins 3 after 3. KFC, feed 4 or more with a KFC 10-piece family feast, just $20. On this date, back in 1941, Joe DiMaggio's record 56-game hitting streak came to an end. 55 different pitchers, 4 Hall of Famers during the streak. He not only picked up hits, but he hit for power. He slugged .717 during the streak, which ended 70 years ago today. Started it in mid-May.
And throughout the course of that 56-game hitting streak, only one 3-hit game. A lot of ones and a lot of twos, but only one 3-hit game, nothing more than that. Just very, very consistent.
Strike 1-1 on Gabby Sanchez. Actually, looking at the list, I think you're looking at the same list I am. I think he had a bunch of 3- and 4-hit games. He only had 3 hits off 1 pitcher.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
Bob Harris. I think you're looking at July 11th, 1941. 3 hits off Bob Harris. Had 1 off Jack Kramer that day.
When you hand me a page full of numbers, I'm very
You're
likely to
1s,
misread
2s, and 3s. Yeah. But a lot of those games were against 1 pitcher. And the Hall of Famers on that list: Lefty Grove, Sanchez strikes out, Bob Feller, Al Newhouser, in more than 1 game, Ted Lyons gave up hits during the 56-gamer. That'll lead us into our AT&T trivia question. He had another streak that started the following day. How many games did that last? Answer coming up. Now, if you counted the All-Star game, I guess it was 57. Well, that's an exhibition game. He went 1 for 4 in the 1941 All-Star game. Ken Keltner. A couple of nice defensive plays on this date to help the Indians stop the streak. Ball 4 to Stanton as he takes first.
I guess we should have known Joe DiMaggio was going to do something amazing at the major league level. He had a 61-game hitting streak in the Pacific Coast League. For the San Francisco Seals. I don't think I ever played 56 games in a row.
Let alone hit in all of them.
Yeah.
One strike on Mike Cameron. That's lined to left, and Blake DeWitt misplayed it. He's going to play that into a double as Stanton's going to stop at third. I mentioned Blake has not played a lot in left. That was a catchable ball, but he kind of came in on it, and that ball took off on him.
Definitely a catchable ball, maybe with some more experience out there in left field. This ball is absolutely crushed by Mike Cameron. A lot of carry on that line drive. Blake came in just a half a step and then tried to retreat, but couldn't get back there quickly enough.
We'll bring up the catcher, Buck. First base open with 1 out. Like the middle guys will play back. And the corner men on the infield will play in. Talking about 1941, kind of the throwback era. A throwback day, so to speak, in Oakland yesterday, as the A's split a scheduled doubleheader against the Angels. It was a scheduled doubleheader, the first one in the majors in 8 years. I saw they had 2 games scheduled, and I just assumed it was a makeup of a rainout, but it was not. It was the first time the Oakland A's had scheduled a home doubleheader since 1997.
Did you two have anything to do with that?
I don't think so, but we'll find out. Yeah, they've been affecting the schedule all around baseball, haven't they? The Marlins played 3 games at home in Seattle because of a U2 show. Cardinals visiting clubhouse, hosting U2. And in 1966 on this date, Billy Williams hit for the cycle against the Cardinals at Busch Stadium in Game 2 of a doubleheader. Single, double, triple, homer. He did it in that order. Wells with a 2-1 pitch, and now he's got a chance and would love a strikeout here with a pitcher on deck. Three and two. Not the worst result in the world if he walks him. In fact, he's going to try to make Buck chase just a little bit here. Get himself out.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit to see a straight change up here. Ideally toward that outside corner of the plate and down a little bit. It's going to be a fastball away.
It was a pretty good zone. Buck fouled it off.
Take a look on our Galaxy pitch tracks, trying to keep everything down and away from John Buck. That last pitch, however, at 90, straight toward the middle of the plate.
Lined into center. Bird did not catch it. That ball hit the turf, and we're tied. Stanton scores, and it's 4-4 on an RBI single from John Buck.
Boy, a phrase we heard Ryan Dempster use a lot over the last couple of years: inning management. You've got a base open with the number 8 hitter at the plate, and the last 2 pitches to John Buck were right in the middle of the strike zone. That's an opportunity to perhaps pitch around a hitter or try to get him to chase a bad pitch out of the zone. And as you said, if you walk him, it's not the worst thing that can happen. You still have a potential double play in order.
How about this move? As Jack McKeon not afraid to roll the dice. He's going to use Brian Peterson to pinch hit for the starter Volstad, who went just 3 innings and gave him a 1-2-3 in the 3rd. He's got an opportunity here to get the lead back with runners at 1st and 3rd. Double play ball. They turn it. So the Jack McKeon maneuver backfires as a pinch hitter grounds into a double play. They do tie it, however. It's 4-4. question. How long was the DiMaggio second hitting streak? Back in 1941. 16 games. Which would be a career best for a lot of guys. Current longest streak in baseball belongs to the Marlins second baseman. 15 games. EMILIO BONIFACIO. Well, a roll of the dice for Jack McKeon. He could not get the lead with a pinch hitter. He will go into his bullpen as Burt Badenhop takes over in the fourth.
Never an easy decision for a manager to pull the plug early on your starter, but in conjunction with your pitching coach, you have to make a quick evaluation. Do I think my starter is going to get it back today? Do I think he has good enough stuff to stop the Cubs offense and get us deeper into the ball game? And apparently Jack McKeon did not think so. Took the shot to add some more runs, and Peterson promptly hit into that inning-ending double play.
Well, you know this so well. Your players usually tell you whether it's a good move or not. And there are good moves that don't work and bad moves that do. But you try to put your guys in a position to succeed, and then you let them do it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We haven't seen Volstad obviously very much this year, just 2 starts, but it didn't look like he had it, even though he did go 1, 2, 3 in the third inning. He really scuffled in the first 2. Blake DeWitt chops one to Hanley Ramirez. Great work as always by the Menards grounds crew here at Wrigley Field. I always go back to the 2 unorthodox moves Jack McKeon made in that 2003 season that I didn't agree with at the time, but they both worked beautifully. He brought Mike Mordecai in as a pinch runner twice for Mike Lowell in the 9th inning of a tie game. Now Mordecai faster than Lowell. He wasn't necessarily the fastest guy on the Marlins roster at the time. But what I thought was interesting is Eric Gagne was on the mound one night, John Smoltz the other night, and if you look at their stats, it's Ramirez will take care of Soto. 2003, had 2 of the best years any closer's ever had in the history of baseball, so the chance for the Marlins to score wasn't great. So he took his best hitter out of the game, and sure enough, they did not score. They would go to extras. That spot would come up again. And what do you think happened? Mike Mordecai hit a home run both times to win the game. So you sit there and you go, I'm not so sure. Well, you're right, Jack. He knew something we didn't. The great thing about the game. And Mordecai that year, Bob, hit 2 home runs. Those were the 2 game winners.
Jack knew he was due.
Yeah.
Well, I think you put it best just a moment ago, Len. You can make the right move and it doesn't work out. You can make absolutely the wrong move and it could work out perfectly. But as a manager over the course of the season, you just try to consistently give yourself the best chance for the player to have success. And consequently then for the team to have success. Sometimes it may go a little bit against the book. Sometimes it may go against the numbers if you use your eyes and what you've seen on a daily basis from your own players. And
Darwin Barney lifts one to deep left center. Morrison. Did he pull it out of the vines? He did. What a catch by Logan Morrison. You can't do it much better than that. In the vines out in deep left center, and that'll end the inning. Probably going to be a little scraped up, but he got the job done.
catch out in deep left center field by Logan Morrison. Darwin Barney making a bid for extra bases, possibly a home run, but Morrison denies that. A great leaping running catch, crashing into the vines, able to hold on to the ball for the final out. Hey fans, text footlong to 29653. If you're the 500th texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway.
Top of the order now, Bonifacio against Randy Wells. Sinker for a strike. Again, Randy looking for his first win since his season debut on April 4th when he beat the Diamondbacks. Spent almost 2 months on the DL after that start and has had 8 winless outings, including 3 losses since. One and two. Tigers trying to avoid the sweep against the White Sox. 3 spot on the 6th, made it 4-3, and that's the score in the 9th. Jose Valverde is on for Detroit. Second game back for Carlos Guillen, playing second base. Missed 11 months because of a knee injury that required surgery. Made a season debut yesterday. Castro better hurry, and he had one play on the bare hand. Bonifacio can fly down the line. I think that ball was hit just a little too hard to bare hand, unfortunately. That's a hit, and it's a 15-game hitting streak.
A split-second decision for a defender, and because of Bonifacio's speed, Starlin felt he had no chance to glove, make the exchange, and throw on to first base in time. Tries to make that barehanded play. Under normal circumstances with an average runner, he probably would glove that ball, but that was the only chance he had to get Bonifacio.
Check that, a 16-game hitting streak for Bonifacio. Average right around 400 during the streak, and a big threat to run. Not going as Dobbs swings and misses. Soto thought about firing to first. Only Michael Bourne, and we'll see him on Friday here at Wrigley Field, has more infield hits in the National League. There he goes that time, and Wells just able to slow it down. The throw not in time by Castro. Back-to-back infield hits, and the Marlins threatening to take the lead again. That's just bad luck.
Yeah, that is bad luck. I mean, we've talked about it many times on those comebackers. A pitcher just reacts. You try to either glove the ball or knock it down with a body part to keep it from going through. That one catches Randy on the outside of the right calf. Had that ball gotten by Randy untouched, you can see where Starlin Castro was. He was probably going to go right to the bag and turn that into an easy double play ball, but once it hit Wells, it just died out there in the infield. Castro with a late throw to first. Back-to-back infield hits. Looks like he's going to be okay. Well, we have a quick second, Len. I'd like to give a shout out to my favorite local band here in Chicago. Had a chance to catch them down at Navy Pier at the Beer Garden the other night. They played the Windy City Rib Fest yesterday, opened for Rusted Root, a band called Mr. Blotto. These guys are outstanding, and as you well know, it's street festival season here in Chicago. If you get a chance to catch Mr. Blotto sometime around town, I would highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
How much do we like Mr. Blotto? They played my daughter's after party at her wedding. And somewhere there's a video of me dancing for 3 straight hours.
And if you have it, please send it to us. Don't put it on YouTube. We want to air it.
It'll get flagged, I'm sure.
1-0 on Logan Morrison. A heap of trouble for Randy Wells in the 5th, and a 4-4 tie. A bouncer to Pena. They get 1. That's it. It's a good play by Castro. Really didn't have a play on Morrison. Wells did get over to cover instead of possibly making a wild throw or having Wells drop it looking for the bag at first. He just decided to hold on.
That's one of the most dangerous plays a shortstop has, trying to hit a moving target as that pitcher runs over to cover first base. You're trying to avoid the sliding base runner, and good decision that time by the young Starlin Castro. Just hang on to that ball. You've got another opportunity here to possibly turn a double play and get out of the inning.
Fielders continue to play deep, especially Blake DeWitt. Just a few feet from the warning track and left.
Dangerous pitch coming here to Hanley Ramirez, a guy who's already homered once in this game, flied out to deep center field in his second at bat. Looks like he's seeing the ball really well today.
Fastball inside, 3-0. See if Ramirez has a green light here. Considering how hot he's been lately, you would guess he would.
And definitely has the green light here. And the way he approached that ball, it looked like he did have the green light, but just felt that wasn't the particular pitch he was looking for.
We go right back in there on the 3-1 pitch. It's low to load the bases. The one and only Sir Paul McCartney is coming to Wrigley Field on Sunday, July 31st and Monday, August 1st. Treat your best customers and guests to the ultimate VIP experience in a private suite at the friendly confines for these historic shows. Mezzanine suites are limited and available now. Call 773-404-4200 for more details and to book your suite today. As Mark Riggins chats with Wells and Soto, veteran Ramon Ortiz is up. The Cubs pen, we saw Ramon yesterday, an inning and a third in relief of Carlos Zambrano. He gave up 3 runs on 3 hits. Here's the All-Star Gabby Sanchez. Had a fairly quiet series. Just 1 for 14. But he bats with the bases loaded. And he takes a slider for ball 1.
Sanchez has grounded into 10 double plays this year, tying him for the team lead with catcher John Buck. That's exactly what Randy Wells is looking for right here.
Our AT&T UVerse multi-view. Bases full. Bounced foul. One career grand slam for Sanchez. Off the inside corner. Final game of this season series. The Cubs have won 3 of the first 5. All-time series deadlocked 76-76, including 36-36 in Miami and 40-40 here at Wrigley.
It's about as even as you can get,
I would say. A pop-up. Castro goes out. DeWitt coming in. Bonifacio now with a late tag. And about a third of the way down the line. Cut off by Ramirez. 2 down.
You definitely want the left fielder to call off the shortstop on this shallow pop-up. If Starlin Castro catches that ball going out toward the outfield, Bonifacio with his speed may have tried to score. But when Blake DeWitt called off the shortstop, made that play coming in, Bonifacio could only bluff down the line and then hold.
An escape job this would be if Wells can get out of it. 2 on with nobody out, and the 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. Now it's the number 6 hitter, Mike Stanton, with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. That one grand slam was actually off a Cub, but he wasn't a Cub at the time. It was Matt Garza when he was with Tampa Bay. And it was his first career homer. 2-1.
How about this, Len? Back in 07, his first year in professional ball, Mike Stanton played only 17 games combined between the rookie ball club and low A. Had 1 home run and 3 runs driven in, but yet was voted the best prospect, best athlete, and best power hitter in the organization after only 17 minor league games and 1 home run.
They knew.
Yeah.
And the pitch of the game for Randy Wells coming up. 3-1 with the bases loaded in a tie game here in the 5th against a home run hitter. There it comes. Wells knocks it down. Plenty of time. Ooh, not a great throw as he lollipopped it over to Pena, but he digs it out. And Wells does get out of it. They leave him loaded. It's still 4-4. Wells got out of the top of the 5th somehow. We got Mike Stanton on a 3-1 pitch to tap to the mound.
That was huge.
Cameron's going to get there because he wasn't playing deep against the pitcher. We'll bring up Reed Johnson. A productive day filling in for Kosuke. When Reed Johnson digs in, it looks like he and the catcher and the umpire are all getting together to get in on a secret. Look how tightly packed they are right around home plate. Backhanded play by Ramirez, and the out. Friday afternoon, hang with Comcast Sportsnet at the Coors Light Northside Baseball Viewing Party. Come by Tommy's on Waukegan and Morton Grove to win prizes. Enjoy Coors Light and watch the Northsiders take on Houston. Be there Friday, July 22nd at Tommy's on Waukegan in Morton Grove. Castro hits one sharply, but Ramirez able to scoop. Bert Badenhop, 6 up, 6 down, needed 4 pitches to navigate through the Cubs' 5th. This Wednesday at 1:20 here at Wrigley Field. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans get a Cubs chip and dip platter, compliments of Frito-Lay. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. It's a hot one here at Wrigley as Randy Wells will face the bottom 3 in the Marlins order. I imagine we'll see a pinch hitter for Badenhop, who's due up 3rd. A bit of an update on the Yankees Blue Jays sign stealing discussion we had yesterday. Joe Girardi seemed to indicate yesterday The Yankees thought the Blue Jays might be using other methods of getting the catcher's signs. Mentioned how Russell Martin said after Thursday that it was his job to remedy that situation if in fact somebody at second base, a base runner, were stealing signs. But if nobody's on base, you kind of assume that there are other ways of getting those signs. As you have talked about, it's possible a base coach could look in and get the signs, but that's not easy to do.
And usually fairly easy to detect if a base coach is doing it.
I guess the Yankees had Russell Martin use multiple signs even with nobody on base. Problem there is it can potentially mess up the rhythm of your pitcher. I guess Freddie Garcia and Martin thought it affected him on Friday in a 7-1 loss.
I like this, Len. Mike Quaddy's going to get some activity in his bullpen. We talked about it between innings. Randy Wells had a very laborious inning to escape that trouble, and then a very quick offensive inning by the Cubs as this ball is lofted out into left center field for Marlon Byrd. One down. Randy Wells barely had a chance to catch his breath in that dugout between innings and then right back out on the bump again. Even though it is the bottom of the Marlins order, just rather be safe than sorry. Make sure you've got a guy that's nearly ready to come into that ball game just in case things start slipping away here.
And Buck will bat. He's already 2 for 2 with the game tying RBI. Badenhop is on deck, so it appears as though he is going to get the at bat. Nobody loosening in the Marlins bullpen.
Why would you hit for Burke Badenhop? He's 2 for 2 on the season.
There you go.
Leading the league in hitting.
Just looking at Badenhop, he has gone 2 innings now 4 times, but that's his season high. Bouncer squeaks into center for a base hit. John Buck is 3 for 3 from the 8th spot in the lineup.
The big old high bouncer back up the middle of the field. Castro shading slightly toward the hole between third and short. Just can't quite get there in time. Nice effort.
Badenhop bunts it foul. 3 for 25 in his career. 2 for 2, as Bob mentioned, with a double, an RBI, and a run this season. And he has put down 5 career sack bunts. The last one came in 09, but only 3 plate appearances since then. Up and in. He's trying to be a little too perfect. And he bunted that one foul again. 1-2. Riggins checking on Samardzija and Russell to see who's ready. Squares again, and strike 3. So for the second time, a Marlins pitcher cannot get a bunt down.
As you mentioned, the Marlins lose an off day tomorrow to go back to play a makeup game against the Mets. But I think if they did have an off day, we may see some pitchers out at the field working on their sack bunts. A couple of horrible efforts in the ball game today by Volstad and now Badenhop.
Missed the outside corner on Bonifacio. Was just battling today. I think the word you used was laborious last inning. He's in the game at 4-4. Two games have gone final. Detroit did hold off the White Sox 4-3 the final in Detroit as the Tigers avoid the sweep. Up in the air to right, giving Reed Johnson plenty of time to get underneath. And that's the inning. Any way you can to stay cool on this blistering hot mid-July Sunday afternoon. 4-4. Game replays on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. Bottom of the sixth and a 4-4 tie. Burke Badenhop has been really good since coming in the fourth inning. It's 3-4-5 this time around. Ramirez, Pena, and Bird. Other finals, the Yankees did get a split in that four-game series in Toronto. 7-2 Yankees. The final today. Phil Hughes over Carlos Villanueva. National League Cincinnati over the Cardinals 3-1. Gets Cincinnati within 3 of St. Louis. Milwaukee could jump ahead of the Cardinals with a win today at Colorado. They lead 1-0 in the top of the fourth. K-Rod got his first win in his Brewer debut last night. And Ricky Weeks moved down to the 5 spot as Ron Renicky tried to jumpstart the Brewers offense. They got the win last night. 8-7. Ramirez chased as he strikes out. Ryan Braun had to leave that game with more calf problems, hoping to be back in the lineup by Monday.
The thing about Ricky Weeks moving down to that 5 spot in the Brewers lineup, not surprising. For me, he's one of those hitters that you can hit in just about any spot in the lineup. He's been batting leadoff pretty much all season for the Brewers. Fills that role well. Runs extremely well. If you like him at the top of the order, he can produce runs. If you like him in the middle of the order, he could sneak attack you from the bottom of the order.
I think one problem Ron Renicke's had is protection for Prince fielder. Casey McGee ideally would be that guy, but McGee's hitting just .221 after a career year last year. They have Corey Hart leading off today. Badenhop with a 1-1 pitch, and you fouled it right near the plate. 1-2. James Russell still cranking it up in the Cubs bullpen, which would lead us to believe pretty good chance he's going to start the 7th. Yeah, back-to-back lefties due up Dobbs and Morrison, so it'd be a pretty good time to insert Russell into the game. Randy Wells with 102 pitches, but as Pena takes a called third, 102 on a day like this, and considering what he's gone through over the first 6 innings, a lot more than 102 pitches on another day.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Now the issue you may run into, Greg Dobbs, as you mentioned, leading off the 7th for the Marlins, probably will be taken down for a pinch hitter. Jack McKeon, some right-handed bats available off the bench today. I doubt if he would hit for Logan Morrison, but certainly there's a possibility James Russell would come into the game and have to face a righty pinch hitting for Greg Dobbs.
Maybe a Wes Helms. Well, Jack McKeon's maneuver to take out his starter after 3 innings to try to get the lead did not work as Brian Peterson grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. However, Burt Badenhop has kind of mitigated that decision a little bit by not allowing a base runner at this point.
I really think that decision for Jack was twofold. Number one, try to score a run, take your shot with a pinch hitter right there, but probably more importantly for the Marlins, take an ineffective pitcher out of the ball game and dip into that bullpen, and Badenhop has made that move look very good.
The other thing about it is, they're going to have Clay Hensley coming back tomorrow. They'll have to make a roster move. There's possible somebody who might work in the game today will be taken off the roster tomorrow. We'll see as Bird swings and misses, and Badenhop strikes out the side in the 6th. 4-4. high-speed action. The Cubs trailing 3-0 in the first inning came right back. Reed Johnson with a leadoff double. Starlin Castro, opposite field, double. Aramis Ramirez saying, make it a double.
Man after my own heart.
They would add another run as Ramirez would score on the DeWitt single to tie it up. We're now 4-4 in the seventh as lefty James Russell will work. You almost need to use two numbers for James. Yeah, 4.26 ERA, but it was in the 9s as a starter. It's in the 1s as a reliever.
And certainly Randy Wells would be the first to admit he has not thrown the ball the way he had hoped this year. But on the positive side, in 5 of his last 6 starts, he's pitched at least 6 innings, and we know how overtaxed that bullpen has been at times this year. And just the fact that he's been able to hang around long enough to get 6 innings into the ball game.
One ball, one strike. So Dobbs stays in to face James Russell. Mentioned the numbers, 9.33 in 5 starts, 1.39 however as a reliever. Left center, it'll be Byrd cruising for the out. Our good friend Gary Sinise, Oscar nominated actor, Chicago native, will conduct the 7th inning stretch coming up. One strike on Logan Morrison. Here's the pitch. Off the plate outside. There's our buddy, Edward Mujica. That's 5-hour energy. He's ready to go.
I'd like to leave a wake-up call, please. Can you call me in the 3rd inning?
This is your 3rd inning wake-up call. Press 1 for a 4th inning reminder. Into the stands down the left field line. 37,634 the paid crowd. Thought we might see double digits on both sides runs wise early on. 7 of the 8 runs were scored in the first 2 innings. Foul tip, strike 3. So Russell gets the first 2, both lefties, and with a right-handed hitting Hanley Ramirez coming up. Mike Quaddy's Toyota call to the pen brings on right-hander Jeff Samardzija. A Toyota call to the pen. Jeff Samardzija making his 7th appearance here in July. There's not a lot of run this month. He'll face Hanley Ramirez with 2 outs and nobody on in the 7th. We're tied at 4.
A very efficient, crisp outing for James Russell, getting his 2 lefties to start this inning, and now he'll turn the ball over to Jeff Samardzija, hoping to get out number 3 so we can hear Gary sing.
Fastball at 96. Outer third for a strike. Ramirez hit a long home run to center back in the 1st inning. Since then he's flied to center and walked. Slider was up. 2-1. Cleveland needs to win to remain in sole possession of first in the AL Central, with Detroit winning today, and Indians are trailing late, bottom of the 8th in Baltimore, 7-3 Orioles. 2-2 now. Must be blowing out in Baltimore. 5 home runs combined in that one. Through the hole on the left side. That's a base hit.
Speaking of the Orioles, Len, my this day in baseball history, back in 1991, the Orioles lost a 9-8 game in Kansas City against the Royals, and their DH Sam Horn became the first non-pitcher to strike out 6 consecutive times in a ball game. Oh, that's a rough day. Didn't matter which way the wind was blowing that day.
No.
They haven't even invented a term for a 6 strikeout game yet, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. If they have, it's probably not arable.
No.
Pirates with a chance to tie the Cardinals again in the NL Central standings. They lead at Houston 4-3 in the 7th. Kevin Correa still working for the Pirates. He's got a double and 2 RBIs at the plate in that game. Abby Sanchez takes ball 1. We will see the Pirates on the next road trip. You had the weekend off last weekend, but they've got some exciting young fast guys in their lineup with the injuries. Alex Presley, Chase Darno have done a nice job filling in for Tabata and Cedeno.
And Clint Hurdle, a manager that likes to have that speed in his lineup. He's a guy that's not afraid to push buttons, get some runners in motion, create some offense. And when you've got speed in your lineup, you can do that.
Ramirez takes off. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second gets into center. That'll be an error on Giovanni Soto as Ramirez gets a steal. He's at third with 2 outs.
The throw's low into second base as Ramirez gets a good jump. Castro a little tardy getting over there into a backup position. He didn't even come into your picture until that ball was out into shallow center field. "16 steals for Ramirez.
2-1 on Sanchez. Now 3-1. It's Stanton on deck. And a roller to Starlin Castro. He picks it up, and Gary Sinise coming up with the 7th inning stretch.
Conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, actor and Chicago native Gary Sinise.
Hey! Great job as always by Gary Sinise. Lots of energy. Nicely done, Gary.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to get some stuff out.
Yeah,
That's
why
right.
not? Very lethargic day here at the ballpark. Hot. The fans have been sitting there all afternoon. You got them going. Got them up out of their seats. I like that.
That's good.
4-4 here in the 7th. Edward Mujica is on. Ball 1 to Blake DeWitt. So now this weekend, Gary, is part of the Steppenwolf Theater Gala Benefit live auction. And did you bring some guests out to the park today?
That's right. They auctioned off a day at the ballpark with me and one of the skyboxes up here, and so I brought a group of wounded warriors and veterans from Hines Medical Center with me today. Some of them, I think, were down on the field. We have some people from Brooke Army Medical Center here today, so you know we do everything we can to try to honor our veterans and do what we can for our wounded warriors.
We had a chance to talk with you when we were at Dodger Stadium earlier this year. The 2-1 is on the way, and that ball will be caught. Diving catch by Bonifacio at second base. Wasn't hit terribly hard by Blake DeWitt. Gary, I want to ask you, I didn't get a chance to ask you when we were in LA, the wonderful World War II high definition series. I believe it was a 10-hour series or a 10-part series that you narrated.
World War II in HD.
In HD. Just an amazing series. How long did it take you? I mean, it was a long series, but just to do all the narration, how many months of work was that for you?
Well, you know, they bring you in from time to time. You go in and do a narration on one or two parts and then come back again because they're working on it the whole time. But it's a beautiful, beautiful series. It's very well done, very emotional, and really one of the most comprehensive looks at World War II that you can find.
Do you know where a lot of the film that aired for the first time, where all of that was over the last half century?
Some of that footage was you know, in somebody's garage, somebody's, you know, they found things in Australia in somebody's attic. I mean, they really searched the world for this footage that hadn't ever been seen before. Some of it you had, of course, but they really searched the world to find the most, the footage that was the most rare that had never been seen.
Well, if you haven't seen it, it is worth the investment of time to watch it. World War II in HD, which aired originally on the History Channel. The 1-1 pitch. Soto checked his swing, but took a strike. What's up with the Lieutenant Dan band these days?
Well, we just played 2 concerts. We played Great Lakes Naval Base on Friday, and last night out at Cantini Park in Wheaton for a big thing called Rockin' for the Troops we do every year.
We had a big group of the Vietnam veterans out here on it was Thursday evening, and they got a wonderful ovation here from the crowd, and you can tell that they were very taken with the whole moment as they were standing down the first and third base lines, kind of like the starting lineups on opening day.
That's fantastic. I have there's actually a documentary about my band called Lieutenant Dan Band for the Common Good. You can go to ltdanbandmovie.com and you can stream this thing for $4. And 1 out of every $4 goes to the Gary Sinise Foundation, which is I just recently launched. It's a military support foundation. We support military families, wounded warriors, first responders, that kind of thing. So it's ltdanbandmovie.com and GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Definitely check it out. 2 outs in the inning. Darwin, Barney. Step in with 2 outs. If you checked out the replica portion of the wall that heals, but here this weekend, traveling around the country, replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C.
I heard that was here. Yeah. Very impressive.
I think it's just great what most sports leagues have done, and MLB has done it. The Cubs do it every week. You know, the Blackhawks have done it, but honoring the veterans and members of the military here at the ballpark before ball games. It's the least we can do, right?
Well, I spend many days and weekends and months and years now going out and doing what I can to draw attention to what's going on with our service members and our veterans and that kind of thing. And you know, we're doing a lot better than we did in the Vietnam era, but we can always do a little bit more, and these things make a difference.
And he fouls it off. We will actually be in New York on September 11th. It'll be a very emotional day. The Cubs and the Mets on Sunday, September 11th, the 10th anniversary of the terrorist attacks on the United States.
I'll be there that weekend myself doing some fundraisers and that kind of thing.
Morrison coming in. He has it on the move, and the Cubs go down in order. So we're going to go to the 8th and a 4-4 tie. Gary Sinise, always a pleasure. Great to see you here at the ballpark.
Great to be here, guys.
With exciting new opportunities in the Bud Light bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesday nights, and $1 Vienna Beef hot dog Wednesdays. Tuesday night special is also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Tony Campana comes in and will lead off the Cubs' 8th. He'll bat in the 9th position, and right-hander Kerry Wood will do the pitching. He's a 4th Cub hurler today.
See that 2.76 ERA overall this season for Kerry Wood in 31 appearances. He had a 1.38 ERA through his first 13 appearances, and then started to have some issues with that blister, and over his last 18 the ERA was 3.86, giving him that season mark of 2.76. Still extremely respectable.
Facing Mike Stanton, who has grounded out twice and walked and scored. Tied right now with Charlie Root on the Cubs strikeout list. Too far away from his teammate Carlos Zambrano, but tough for Woody to catch him because he's in short relief and Carlos is a starter. Also, an interesting note from MLB.com, which I'll give you here in a second. Popped out of the mitt, and Stanton's going to reach. Whoa, the ball guy grabbed the ball, and what's the call here? That was strike 3. He swung and missed. Ball popped out of the mitt, and the ball dude went and grabbed the ball, and I think Phil Cuzzy's just going to give him first. I mean, he would have reached. I did not hear contact with the ball in terms of the bat. It's a tough break for Kerry Wood, who does get a strikeout.
Fastball that tailed way up and in. You can see where Giovanni Soto had set up. Big swing and a miss. Looked like it caught Phil Cuzzy on the mask. Gio had no idea where the ball was initially. Hit the backstop, came straight down in front of the bricks, and by the time Gio sees it, the ball boy has already hustled over to get it.
A strikeout and a wild pitch. So Kerry Wood, with a bizarre strikeout, is now 3rd on the all-time Cubs list. Leadoff man is on, and Mike Cameron takes a strike. Javier Vasquez yesterday with the 10 strikeouts here at Wrigley Field. According to MLB.com, he's now tied with Kerry Wood for the 2nd most double-digit strikeout games among all active pitchers. They each have 41. Johan Santana is the leader with 49. Kerry will likely finish his career with 41. Doubtful he would go back to a starting role at this point in his career. 1-2 to Cameron. Back to Wood. Let's see if they can turn 2. Low throw, but Castro gets it and fires to first. A 1-6-3.
A good cutter down low on the outside part of the plate, gets that little tapper back to the mound. Kerry Wood got his body turned into a good position, so by the time he caught that ball, he was ready to deliver it to Starlin Castro, who completes that pivot up the middle. Big double play right there.
John Buck, the batter, 3 out of 3 with the game-tying RBI.
Oh, nasty hook from Kerry Wood. Thrown all 4-seamers and cutters up until that pitch. That'll lock your knees right there. Man.
Oh, got him on the helmet on another curveball. Buck fortunate it was a breaking ball. Looks like he's fine. He's a catcher. That's always a scary proposition when a ball gets up and in like that. Let's see where exactly it got him.
Kind of a
the
glancing
back
blow
near the ear
off
hole.
off the back of the helmet. Yeah. That one just didn't take the break. The first one was really good. The second one just never took the break, stayed up and in.
Wes Helms pinch hitting for Mujica. Also, according to Baseball Reference, only Randy Johnson has struck out more batters per 9 innings ever than Kerry Wood. Big unit at 10.6 Ks per 9. Kerry Wood at 10.31. It's a minimum of 1,000 innings pitched in the big leagues. Just to kind of give you an idea of how impressive Kerry Wood's strikeout rate is, Roger Clemens 17th on that list, 8.55 per 9. Nolan Ryan at 9.5 per 9. And ball 4. How about this, Bob? 3 base runners in the inning. No hits. A strikeout and a wild pitch, a hit batter, and a walk. As Brett Hayes is going to run for Buck. It's just a little more speed, even though he is a catcher.
At the plate, second baseman EMILIO BONIFACIO.
The Daily Double Burger is back for a limited time at participating McDonald's for $1.89.
Helms must have some kind of an injury that prevents him from running the bases effectively. This would seem to be an awfully unusual time to bring your backup catcher into the ball game as a pinch runner.
Now, it's the second time in the series Hayes has been brought on as a pinch runner. He ran for Greg Dobbs in the 9th inning Thursday night, and now running for Buck. Oh, close at second. We get the benefit of replay. Lance Barrett made the call.
Boy, it sure looked like the ball beat him. No doubt the ball beat him. Did Starlin Castro get the tag down quickly enough? Oh, yeah.
He's out by a mile.
Man. How can you miss that? How can you stand right there 10 feet away from the play and miss that call? That's horrible.
Ramirez leaves his feet. Little double clutch late.
Come on.
Bonifacio beats out another one. Bases loaded.
Ramirez really having a hard time staying on his feet down there at third base lately. Got to the ball fine, just lost his balance, went down to his knees, and once again with Bonifacio's speed, you're not going to get him with any mishandling of that ball whatsoever.
It's their first hit of the inning as Mark Riggins comes out. More trouble here for the Cubs. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Wells got out of a big jam in the 5th inning. This has been a bizarre 8th, to say the least, for Kerry Wood. Well, that call at second base looming very large. Inning should have been over.
Because the pickoff throw from Kerry Wood was high, I thought maybe Starlin couldn't get the tag down quickly enough. But man, on replay, it was very clear that he got the tag down on the arm, way ahead of contact with the bag there. In the future, one thing Starlin could do to make sure you get the out call is drop a knee down in front of that bag at second. You've got the runner coming back head first. Block second base just like a catcher blocks home plate.
This guy's done some major damage in this series. A big hit Thursday night, 2-run homer in the first inning today. And it's 2-0 on Dobbs. He might be in a take one spot with the bases loaded. Outside.
Second pitch, a little close to that inside corner, but well off the plate away at 96 miles per hour. I believe Dobbs takes here 3-0, maybe even takes 3-1.
Ball 4. He has forced in the go-ahead run. It's 5-4.
Left fielder number 20, Logan Morrison.
Close enough to the zone to even get the benefit of the doubt.
The weird thing about it, Bob, is Kerry Wood's gotten 4 outs in this inning, and they're still in it. And curveball missed badly. Got the strikeout, wild pitch, the double play, and then the out at second. It officially only 2 outs. What a weird inning. Shallow center. Bird won't get there in time. They're going to get a couple. Helms in, Bonifacio right behind him, and they've broken out a 3-run lead, 7-4.
A little jam shot floater into shallow center. Morrison didn't hit it well, but hit it in a good spot.
First and second with 3 runs in, and it's Hanley Ramirez. Ball 1.
You could argue that Kerry Wood's not really been that effective in this inning. He's had trouble throwing strikes. The Marlins have made him work, blah, blah, blah. Horrible call at second base that could conceivably change the outcome of this game.
Three and 0 on Ramirez. It's a third 3-0 count in this inning. Called strike. Three and 2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. And that ends the inning. But they get 3 runs to take a 7-4 advantage. Dwayne Wise comes into play left for Logan Morrison. Wes Helms is in at third. And a new battery, Hayes, a pinch runner, scored the go-ahead run. He'll catch for Steve Cishek. Tony Campana leading off the Cubs' 8th. Edward Mujica is in line for the win. It would be his 8th and his 2nd in the series out of the Marlins bullpen. One and two on Tony Campana. John Grabo up in the Cubs bullpen. Here's a 1-2. The pitch was up and Campana fought it off.
Marlins really using a reverse shift in the outfield for Tony Campana. Wise playing way over close to the third base line. Mike Cameron in position pretty much in straightaway left center field, leaving Mike Stanton to patrol all that area from left center around to the right field line.
He got him. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Trailing fastball about belt high out over the plate. One thing you'd like to see Tony Campana really cut down on the swings and misses. With his speed, if he just puts the ball in play to the left side of the infield and it bounces more than twice, he's got a pretty good chance to beat it out at first base, but you got to make contact more consistently to do that.
Strike one on Johnson. Steven Cishek out of Carson Newman College. 5th round pick in 2007. Johnson could not hold up. 0-2.
Carson Newman College.
Yeah, do you ever spend any time hanging out there?
Can't say as
College?
I have. But yeah, I'll tell you, it illustrates the point. Ball players come from everywhere. Obviously, you think of the premier programs in the country, the teams that play in the College World Series year after year after year, or even some high school programs, as Reed Johnson goes down on a slider away, that are ranked highly every year. Baseball factory, so to speak. But hey, if you can play the game, scouts are going to find you.
Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Astros this Friday, July 22nd at Wrigley Field. Game time 1:20. But be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 adults 21 and older will get a Cubs tumbler, compliments of Budweiser. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Oh, 0-2 quickly. Now 2-2. Slider low and outside. Carson Newman is located in Jefferson City, Tennessee. Cishek's from Massachusetts. As Castro draws the walk after an 0-2 start. That's the first walk taken by the Cubs all day.
First one in the ball game today. The Cubs only had one walk in the ball game yesterday. That came in the 9th inning before the game-ending double play off the bat of Carlos Pena. One walk in the second game of the series when they hooked up against Ricky Nolasco. One walk in the first game of the series.
That's been a problem. Marlins took 4 walks yesterday, only 1 in the Cubs 2-1 win on Friday, 9 on Thursday. One of those in the 9th inning against Carlos Marmol. 2-0 now to ARAMIS Ramirez, and Jack McKeon is coming out. Like Lou's visits to the mound. Well, Always want to have festival seating. And we told you early in the series, he's not afraid to make a change in the middle of an at-bat.
Well, two relievers throwing. They're both lefties. You certainly wouldn't expect him to make a change and bring in a lefty to face ARAMIS Ramirez ahead in the count 2-0. But he's got something he wants to say, and he's the skipper, damn it. I'm going to go out there and give this guy a piece of my mind.
The second time he has come out and not Randy St. Clair without making a change. Two and one.
Make it a one-run game right here. Good hitters count for ARAMIS Ramirez.
Foul, 3-2.
About that low three-quarters, nearly sidearm delivery by Cechek. Most of his pitches have ended up down around the bottom of the strike zone. We know Ramirez is a real good low ball hitter.
Out into right center. Cameron chasing. Can't get it. Stanton backing up. Castro's going to score. It's a double. 7-5.
After trying to pull a pitch that was away from him on the delivery before, this time he gets a low fastball down the middle of the plate and goes with it to right center field, just past the diving Mike Cameron.
That'll be it for Cechek with a left-handed hit, and Carlos Pena representing the tying run. Going to be Randy Choate against Pena. See Toyota call to the pen. We'll be right back. The pen, left-hander Randy Choate is on.
For the true definition of a left-handed specialist, you can see lefties hitting .094 against Randy Choate. Not only that, but he has 23 strikeouts against only one walk in 53 at-bats against left-handed hitters.
Choate struck out Pena on Friday. One hopper to Gabby Sanchez. Choate covering, one pitch and one out here today. Cubs settle for one. We go to the ninth. It's 7-5 Florida. Coors Light Cubs post-game live. David Kaplan and Todd Hollinsworth will break down the game and preview the Cubs' next matchup. Don't miss Coors Light Cubs post-game live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Left-hander John Graybo is on for the Cubs here in the ninth. Second appearance in this series. We saw him yesterday with a scoreless seventh. It's 2-1 to Gabby Sanchez. That double by Ramirez, Aramis Ramirez, in the bottom of the eighth, scoring Starlin Castro, the Cubs' first hit since a Darwin Barney single in the second. Completely shut down by Chris Volstad in his final inning of work, and then the bullpen allowing just the one hit after the starter went just 3 innings. Three and 2 on Sanchez. Stanton's on deck. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. Partner, the Cubs have to throw more strikes.
Absolutely.
Huge problem this year. 3 of the walks already today have come around to score, plus the hit batter, Brett Hayes, in the 8th inning. That's 4 guys who scored after reaching without putting a bat on the ball. And you add to that the bases loaded walk taken by Greg Dobbs. That gave them the lead.
In John Graybo's particular case, I'm sure he'd be the first to admit this has not been the kind of year he envisioned, possibly his final year here in Chicago. I really feel like he's caught in a catch-22. He hasn't really pitched well enough for any stretch of time to be used more often, but I think he's more effective the more you do use him.
Cart and the horse.
Yep.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. It really does work both ways. If you're able to see how damaging these walks are to the Cubs pitching staff, conversely, you see how the lack of walks for the Cubs offense has not put the opposing pitcher on the ropes enough this season. It's a bad combination.
It really is, and I think that's why it seems like the Cubs have to work so hard to score runs.
No doubt about that. I think in 08, when the Cubs led the league in walks, it was only 3 years ago, it seemed like they scored with relative ease because they had so many walks in the middle of 2 and 3 hit innings. Cue shot off the end of the bat. Barney's just going to try to get one, and he threw it away. Oh, a collision there as Stanton landed on Carlos Pena. And I think everybody's all right. As Pena will have to dust himself off, but nobody wants to get run over by Mike Stanton. That's going to be a hit for Stanton.
Center fielder Mike Cameron.
Boy, get off the train tracks. Mike Stanton, 6'5", about 245 pounds, motoring down that line. Pena just trying to stretch out and get that errant throw from Darwin Barney. Could have been a lot worse. Looks like everybody's going to be okay.
And it looked like Stanton absolutely tried to slow down and not bowl him over. The thing you worry about with Pena with it back later is that he doesn't know when the contact is coming, so it's hard for him to brace for it, but he looks all right.
Two players checking on each other down there at first base. Stanton asking Pena if he was okay. And he waved and said he was fine. How you doing? Quick trip to the plate. Joe Estrada, the third base coach, to talk it over with Mike Cameron. The way he sprinted down from that third base box, I think a sign was missed right there.
There's a bunt by Cameron. Soto will fire to Barney. You're right, partner. Cameron did get the job done.
There have been times in the past that you would never even think about having Mike Cameron put down a sacrifice bunt. He's one of those streaky hitters that when he gets hot, he can carry a team for weeks at a time. He just has not been able to get untracked whatsoever this year. And McKeon took the opportunity to have him help the team in a positive way by putting down a sac bunt, moving 2 runners into scoring position.
A speedster backup catcher, Brett Hayes. No career steals at this level and limited action, but he has pinch run twice in this series. 15 steals over 6 minor league campaigns. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Infield in, second and third as they try to tack on in the ninth. Soto fires to first after the strikeout, 2 away. He's to be overly aggressive in that spot and work to John Grabo's advantage. Here's Wes Helms.
Helms, another Marlin that's had a lot of trouble getting untracked this year with the bat, hitting only .202 coming into play today. He too has been a guy at times in his career that would crush left-handed pitching. You wouldn't even think about going after him in this situation. And EMILIO BONIFACIO in the on-deck circle, a switch hitter who is really good from the right side of the plate and has been swinging the bat much better than Wes Helms. So Cubs are going to take their chances with the Marlins third baseman. Here's they're going to pitch him very carefully with that base open at first.
Two and nothing the count. Here's the pitch. That's low. A slider 3-0. Sanchez the runner at third. Stanton's at second. Leo Nunez, the closer, is up in the Marlins bullpen. At this point, it is a save opportunity.
I don't think that makes any difference to Jack McKeon in any way, shape, or form. If he was worried about that, he'd have another reliever going with his closer.
Helms lines out to Bird, and it will be Nunez with a 7-5 Florida lead as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Well, the Phillies are in tomorrow night for 3. The Astros come in next weekend, and then a 3-city trip that starts in Milwaukee on the 26th. Phillies beat the Mets today 8-5 in New York. More changes for the Marlins. Omar Infante comes into play second. Bonifacio goes from second to left. Dwayne Wise is now in center. And Leo Nunez will pitch.
The most important change for the Marlins is bringing in their closer. 25 out of 28 on the season in save opportunities. This guy is the very definition of a live arm. Throws in the mid to upper 90s with a lot of sinking tailing action on his fastball. Very tough to pick up his deliveries. He's a good one.
Foul tip, strike 2 on Bird. I believe Infante's in the 3 spot, and the pitcher Nunez where Cameron was in the 7 hole. This will be a souvenir. Still 2 strikes on Bird. Which I can tell you it's going to get easier, but it's not, because Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee are on the horizon. Vance Worley, who's been really good, will go on Wednesday. The Cubs will counter with Rodrigo Lopez tomorrow, Matt Garza Tuesday, Ryan Dempster on Wednesday. I think what you can say about that upcoming series, partners, Cubs need to really play good defense, because at least on paper, you probably aren't going to get a ton of runs. All 3 starters for the Phillies have sub-3 ERAs. There's a base hit for Marlon Byrd. Tying run will come up.
Well, in game 3 of that Phillies series, we'll finally get the Worley-Byrd matchup we've been looking for all year long. Well, a nice piece of hitting that time by Marlon Byrd. Went down below the knees, golfed that ball into center field. Nice job.
I just hope the Phillies play the White Sox in interleague play next year. We'll get the Worley-Burley matchup. Alfonso Soriano batting in the pitcher's spot. Shallow center. Wise gets there.
Catcher number 18, Giovanni Soto.
Another guy who can tie it up with one swing, Giovanni Soto. Well, Roy Halladay's due for a bad one. His last 10 starts, he's 6-0. And on the season, he's walked 17 guys in 143 in the 3rd innings. Another pop up. Wise again. 2 outs.
Second baseman,
And the Cubs were the only team the entire month of June to score a run. And it was one against Cliff Lee.
You think about it, Halladay and Lee both, as you just pointed out, extreme strike throwers. Cubs don't take walks anyway, so if they're around the plate as much as they usually are, that could help the Cubs offense a little bit. At least you'd like to think so. I don't know if facing Halladay and Lee ever helps anybody's offense.
No. Phillies are banged up, but it hasn't mattered. They're 59-35. Now without Oswald and Blanton in their rotation, Contreras and Lidge in their bullpen on the DL. Polanco and Victorino are also out. 2-0 pitch to Barney, takes a strike. You don't have home run hitters here, the next 2 batters, with Barney and Campana. Cubs will try to string something together here, down 2 in the 9th. Runner at first. Here's the pitch. 2-2.
Mike Quaddy still does have Jeff Baker, Kosuke Fukudome, and Coy Hill available off the bench. Should we get deeper into this ball game for Jack McKeon, he's exhausted all of his position players and all but 3 pitchers in his bullpen.
Producer today, Bob Albrecht. Our director, Dave Turner. Tamara Anderson is our associate producer. Stage manager in the booth, Christine Charbonneau. Dan Stella, our technical director. Our tech manager, Mark Harper, the senior executive producer of Cubs baseball on CSN, is Jim Cornell Jr. Great work by everybody on our crew, particularly those out in the elements on this hot Sunday. Still 2-2. We also thank those in the nice air-conditioned confines of our production truck, but not as much.
They all have sweaters on right now.
Nunez has a sign from Hayes. Here it is. Ready for another 2-2 and another foul off to the right. Pirates and Astros 4-4. They're in the bottom of the 10th in Houston. Astros tied it in the 8th. Big game for the Pirates. Here it's 7-5 Florida in the 9th.
And it's just human nature, even for a guy that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, to come to the plate in the 9th inning with 2 outs, a runner on base, a 2-run game, and try to hit a home run. I think back to that 2nd inning with Giovanni SOTO on at first. Darwin Barney just shot a ball through the hole in the right side. Keep the line moving.
A 9-pitch at bat will turn into 10. And here it comes. He struck him out swinging, and the Marlins take 3 out of 4. As Edward Mujica took a little nap early yesterday. He finished the series with 2 wins out of the Marlins bullpen. That gives him a staff high 8 on the year. And the GMC player of the game is going to be Greg Dobbs. He hit a 2-run homer in the 1st and a go-ahead and game-winning bases-loaded walk in the 8th.
Yeah, Dobbs is really good in this series. A guy that is more used to coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, but got some regular at-bats in this series and took full advantage.
So Mujica over Wood. Nunez with the save is 26th. And the Marlins and Cubs finish their season series, each winning 3 games. Marlins head to New York for a makeup game, and again the Phillies come to town tomorrow night for a 3-game series. Games 2 and 3 Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon here on CSN. That's going to do it for our game coverage. Stay tuned. Coors Light post-game live is coming up next. The final score today: the Florida Marlins 7, the Chicago Cubs 5. We're back with you Tuesday night here on CSN. Game 2 against Charlie Manuel's Phillies. Good pitching matchup. Matt Garza for the Cubs, Cliff Lee for the Phils. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad, now for Bob Brenly. Thanks to Sarah Kustok for her work on the pregame show as well. Len Casper now sending it over to Cap and Holly in our downtown Chicago CSN studios.